You are welcome to live class here on Radio Babando 101.9 FM, transmitting live from Baku. This is where we talk about our teenagers and everything that concerns them, everything that will help them to make healthy lifestyle choices. We bring it here, Madam Maspakos, and we go from education to digital knowledge to sexual health education and everything that will help them lifestyle, everything that will help them to become better people. We bring the information here. We also bring information that will help you as parents, as guidance, as teachers, as society builders, everyone who is involved in ensuring that our young people grow up well. We bring the information you need here so that at any time you as a teenager can stand on the foundation that you have been given, and also you as a parent to also have information to share with your young ones. This time is when we can't afford to be behind. In fact, I got boohoo's organi chelofa because we can't afford to miss out on anything, so we just have to keep ourselves abreast with whatever is happening in a time like this. Again, you are well. Today, we are going to be talking about something sensitive, something we do not always want to talk about, but they are there. Today we'll be talking about something in the line of education and preparing people for life. And we'll be looking at teenage mothers, unwed teenage mothers. Teenagers should be married before you become a young person. Before you get married, you should have skills for life, right? And we find out that our teenagers are still learning. Even adults haven't got it all right. They are teenagers, and then you put them into a family way where it's so complex. But today we'll be looking at helping them, all right, how to make something better out of their lives. Now, we know that in the traditional setting and in the family, once your girl child becomes pregnant out of wedlock, it's a taboo, yes. But then when it happens, it's like, there's nothing more to be done. You have lost it all, your daughter has lost it all. But that is not entirely true. A girl gets pregnant out of wedlock, it takes a whole lot from her. Some, they bounce back, some, they never get to bounce back to life. And so we say such people, we see a talent that could have something big, could have been made out of it, but because she got pregnant and she has to take care of her children, nurturing talent will be the last thing on her mind. But here we want to talk about how important it is that even in that condition that she has found herself, that parents, guardians, society at large should also help these girls, because we cannot deny that the girls are there. All right. Now, when we look at statistics, according to the World Health Organization, every year, approximately 16 million teenage girls give birth worldwide. You heard that right? Every year. And the maximum rate is in sub-Saharan Africa, while South Korea has the minimum rate, but the maximum rate where you see lots of girls, teenage girls, giving birth yearly, is in sub-Saharan Africa. We come back to us here in Africa, and when we want to talk about things that cause teenage pregnancies, there are lots of reasons. All right, sometimes we want to look at the moral standing, we just want to look at it from the moral aspect, but we do know that it is more than that. It's not just about the morals. Poverty leads to that. Lack of education, lack of sexual health education also leads to that. And then family values is setting. A teenage mother is not prepared, because for you to transit to motherhood, you need to be physically, you need to be psychologically, socially, and cognitively prepared. How many teenage mothers are prepared in that way? Even young adults, some young adults who become pregnant, get married and become pregnant, are not even ready. Not to talk of teenage mothers. And so for them, motherhood becomes cumbersome. Okay, and yes, you have to endure maternal role and also developmental tasks of adolescents simultaneously. That you are a mother doesn't mean that you have jumped over the developmental task of you being an adolescent. No, that's the motherhood doesn't stop it. So you find this girl who has given birth at as a teenage, battling with that adolescent stage of her life and also battling with the motherhood that has been thrust upon her. So you see, it's double jeopardy. For the girl, so you're trying to juggle motherhood, you're trying to understand everything about motherhood, and then you're still in your adolescent stage. Some things about you are still developing. Some people have not physiologically fully developed at that time. And so after having a child, you see her blooming, and it will be as if, oh, because no was then what could you? No, she's still in her adolescent stage. And then you see her leave the child and go with her friends. I mean, what does she know about child rearing? But the society would say, Shebi, you have put to bed, oh yeah, now you stay there, you have to learn. No, it doesn't come automatic. All right, they don't just learn how to take care of their children because they have given birth to them. They will still need to be taught. And so you find them having to adapt with adulthood social roles. And then a significant brain development. Don't forget, I always tell you here, the prefrontal cortex of the brain is the last that develops. All right, the amygdala is always fully, developed because it has to do with our emotions, has to do with our feelings and all that. So you find that one developing faster than the prefrontal cortex, the one which is enabling you to make decisions, think about things, resilience, forge forward in life and all that. So this young girl is still battling with her brain development. Okay, so if you leave her to take care of a child alone, that's going to be a problem because home at about the child, that's the little she knows that she will pass on to the child. And what does she even know about nurturing? In fact, how many teenage mothers go to antenatal when they are pregnant? And we do know that we learn a lot from antenatal services, where you go there every month, and as your time advances, you start going every two weeks, and before you know it, you're going every week. Okay, there's something new to learn every time you go for your antenatal. And I'm saying this to say, if you're a pregnant woman, whether you're a teenager or a fully fledged woman, you should be going for antenatal classes. There are lots of things that you learn there, and also there are things that could be discovered about your health that will save you and your child if you go to antenatal services regularly. Very important. And also, most teenage mothers are not in good socioeconomic condition. So for them to transit from teenager to motherhood is a big problem for them. It's not just for them, also for the people around them. But of course, you find out that once you have a child, people expect you to take charge, to take control of some things, which the girl child may not be able to do that. And so because of that, you find the girl child going back again to get pregnant. At that time when she got pregnant, most of the things we miss is to sit them down and explain to them, see, you have gotten pregnant, now you can keep getting pregnant again. All right, and not just talk to them in a way that will bring them down, make them feel terrible. Okay, no. You talk to the girl, right? There's a way you talk to somebody who has even done something bad, and the person will know that. The person will feel remorse. The person will see their mistakes and not want to do it again. However, talking to them is not just enough because of this socio-economic condition, which makes teenage mothers get back to getting pregnant again while they are still unprepared because they want to be taken care of. No one takes care of them. Few people actually take care of them when you find a teenage. Some people don't like to give teenage mothers things. They say, I don't want to encourage her, or they are like, so because of that, we don't want to help them because we think that helping them means aiding them. But that's not true. That's not true. Helping them is that's the only thing you can do as a human being at that time. All right, onya the wise, onya ga motive from here meguli ga motive, onya mam motive. So we can't even, because of that, say, okay, let's not help them, let's not give them anything, let's just leave them. No. But you find out that most of them, after that incident, they pick up with their lives. They pick up because there is a support system. And that is what we want to talk about. Again, the support system for teenage girls. All right. Now, we are not in any way supporting teenagers getting pregnant before they wed, but when it happens, what do we do? When it happens, should we leave them? Now, according to results of studies, teen mothers face many physical, psychological, social, and spiritual challenges. In some churches, once the girl is pregnant, the girl can't even come to church again, because sometimes it may be as if the sermon is directed to her, and then sometimes you find a certain level of stigmatization. People don't want to be seen around her, so that it won't be as if they are their friends, and all that. And so it's a problem for them. It's a problem. And in the social circle, forget that sometimes you see some girls who have given birth, they seem as if they are okay with it, they don't care and all that. They do care. And most of them, you don't even see them. Some of them, they are taken away from that environment where they got pregnant, sent elsewhere, isolated, and all of that. So there's a need for constant support and training, okay? Because they are unable to plan and make proper decision. They don't have maternal skills. Yes, I do know that maternal skills come upon you when you're pregnant. Some maternal skills come, but the major part of it is still learned. That is why you have an elderly person coming to do a omogo for you when you have had a child. And so your mother or your sister or someone who is elderly comes to help you, comes to show you, okay, this is how you help the baby to suckle, and so this is how you keep the baby's head, this is how you bathe baby, this is how you lay baby, this is how you cover baby. No, you don't wear baby this kind of dress in this period, you wear baby this kind of dress. No, you don't do this, you do that. This is how, a lot of things that we learn in that period of omogo. Omogo is not just let her come and let the person coming to do omogo come and enjoy. Omogo is a teaching time. Let me say this because of the men. Yes, there was somewhere, and a man, we started talking about Omogo. I actually went to see a child. We started talking about Omogo, and one man was like, if you go near an emechakitano, obolondine, kage ibuni he magacha Omogo, well, I'm one obolo, imaguenya, imana banana. We started talking about it. Now, the thing is, why in a jom gonna jail? That is it too. Sometimes the mother will have to be awake so that her child, who is the mother of a newborn, will sleep. Sometimes she needs someone who will help her to wash clothes. Sometimes she needs someone who will just cook for her. Most teenage girls do not get this treatment. We still see it as a form of punishment. You brought yourself here, so you need to get up. Who will do it for you? So you gotta take care of yourself. Yes, I understand. Our anger can spiral into, but you see, once she gets to that level where she has become pregnant, she's battling with a whole lot of things. She may not even tell you, she may not even find the words to say, but she is also fighting. And then if she's someone who is in school, automatically, most of the times, their education is disrupted. And even their employment. For someone who is a teenage girl, when you get pregnant, most people do not hire you. Most people don't even hire women who are married and pregnant. Some people don't even hire them. I say, but for that one, she's okay because she's in a man's house, so she can go home, and while she's still job hunting, the man can take care of her. But for you, a teenage girl, who is going to take care of you? Is it your parents who are still trying to make ends meet that will now come and start concentrating on you? I wish we can know all these things before we actually go and get pregnant outside marriage. Teenagers, because you see, the teen girl is the one whose education will be entirely disrupted, while the boy or the male involved will go on with his life. So think about it, my dear teenage girl. That boy that is telling you, I love you now, I love you, buying things for you, asking you to come out and see him when you shouldn't, think about it. When you get pregnant, he will continue with his life. At most, he will relocate. In fact, if you carry yourself and go to his parents, they'll tell you, we don't know you. Some will even tell you, Shebi, we were warning you when you were coming here. We were warning you to stay away from our son. Now, we could carry yourself and go. Some will entirely deny you. And of course, what are you going to do about it? All right? So him and Azono, so who is going to come and defend you for something that is going to be a big burden? Yes, when you have a child out of wedlock, such as a child is God's blessings, but it is at that point, is a burden that you brought onto the family, especially when it comes to the economic aspect of it. It's not just you that will suffer from your act. Your parents will also suffer from your act. So think about it. Before you follow that boy out, before you sneak out from school, before you say you're going to work and you don't go to work, before you lie all the lies just to go and be with that boy, think about it. If you get pregnant, that boy will continue his life. That boy can even deny you and say, I'm not the only one. No, am I the only one? He'll bring everything to shame you and make you feel like you are, a street girl. And before you know it, your parents will say, that kind of thing. And sometimes the wahala no they ever end. So think about it and think about your education. See, education is the key. If your parents are struggling to get you through school, don't do anything that will stop it. At least not by yourself. All right? Do not do anything else, because there is no school, no secondary school that will keep a pregnant girl in school. They'll say you will corrupt other children. And nobody wants other children to see that, okay, it's okay to go and get pregnant and still be coming to school as you like and still be doing some things as you like. They'll say, if you still want to come back to school, you can come back. And tell me, how many girls go back to school after they have had children? But when no education, no work, what will you be doing? You're going to be depending on people to feed you. The financial problems. So if you have any complications, how are you going to help yourself? How are you going to feed the unborn child? Where you're pregnant, you're eating for 2 or 3 or 4, as the case may be. What about clothes? What about other things a newborn baby would need? How are you going to provide for that? We're not even going to the education, to the religious aspect, the social aspect, and the negative reaction that comes from that. We are not even going there, because we'll not come out from there. We don't even want to go to the inappropriate behavior of care providers, healthcare providers. One is a teenage girl. Some health providers don't respect them, they don't feel concern for them. The way they'll feel concern for a married woman and a teenage girl comes around. So that's why most of the teenage girls don't like to go to hospitals when they are pregnant, because of the inappropriate behavior, the stigmatization, the name calling, the shaming from healthcare providers, which is not right. All right, you're meant to provide services to everybody irrespective of their status. And family conflicts. Sometimes a teenage girl's pregnancy breaks the home. So daddy says it's mommy says it's daddy. Everybody will be blaming themselves. I left it for the children. So why did you not do that? Why are you are not present? You're not a present mother, you're not a present father. It's because you did not bring money. Oku no kada because someone got pregnant. And is that how it's meant to be? It's not, if it was done in the right way. But once it's not done in the right way, all of these conflicts come up. So how can we help these girls? That's what we're talking about. All right, teenage mothers, we can't remove the fact that you have had the child, no problem. Now, what next? What is the next step? However, I had to bring up all the problems associated with it first, so that you can understand it's not as easy as said. You may be lucky, somebody may be helping you. You may be lucky you have a family that is supportive. But what if you don't? Even if you have a supportive family, it's a burden that you don't want to bear at that young age. There are other things you can be doing with your life as a teenager and not getting pregnant and trying to raise a child as a child. Now, there was a study that was carried out. They had almost more than 20 teenage mothers, and they were asking them what they faced, how it was for them. And some said that they are not allowed to welcome their friends anymore. Before they had their child, they used to go out, they lived a carefree life. But right now, their friends cannot even come. Most of them who come don't even stay for long. And some said that they have relegated their personal needs and desires. So they don't place any priority on any personal thing, self-gratifying needs, shopping, making their hair or anything. Now they are more concerned about the welfare of their child most of the time. Another person said after childbirth, her problems have increased. Usually, she could solve her problems alone and do not get help from others when it's only her, but now it's not possible. Now, sometimes you have to break her pride and ask for help. That is one thing that having a child out of wedlock will lead you to, having to beg other people. And this is the point where you can also get pregnant again, because some men will still take advantage. One said that when she became pregnant, the headmaster said she should not come to school, and because the presence of a student with a condition that is a swollen abdomen is not right. And sometimes, even after childbirth, she tried to go back to school, but it wasn't possible for her because she had to attend to the needs of the child. So you see, all of these things, you don't see them when the guy is there acting Mr. Nice Guy. All right, so when he's there buying you all those things that he's buying for you and helping you disobey your parents, because most times that's what they do. When you sneak out from school, when you don't go to where you're meant to go to, or you spend more time outside doing one small chankele thing they told you to go and do, but that thing is meant to take 30 minutes, it takes you 2 hours. All right, because you had to sneak out to go and see that boy or that man. They are supporting you to be disrespectful. They are supporting you to be disobedient to your parents. They are supporting you to go in the family way when you shouldn't. And most times when you get in the family way, they will leave you and jabba. Okay, so what do we do here? We are looking for support. So that you've had a child does not mean that people should not help you. I've already mentioned that. In fact, when you have a child, that is even when you need all the help. Because it's like you are just thrown into the water and asked to swim for your life when you haven't even known how to swim. You haven't learned how to swim before then. But right now you have to swim for your life or you drown. So if we need anyhow, me in a float. Okay, so one of the ways we can help teenage mothers is to bring education to them. Education could be formal or informal. So as a school teacher, as a school owner, as a school head teacher or headmaster, you should encourage any teenage girl who stopped school because of her pregnancy to get back to school. And there should be a training for teachers to not see those girls, isolate them with their words or actions. Of course, they may not tell them sit outside there, but with their words and actions, they can actually isolate these girls. They can stigmatize this against the girls and make other students to also look down on them, which can affect their self-esteem and make them not want to come back to school, which is not right. So you find someone to go back to school, but the attitude of the students, attitude of the teachers in school may not support them to come back to school. So what we are saying is teachers should be trained. People in the educational system should be trained so that they can help these girls, help them boost their confidence again, help them understand that, yes, you have done this, you made this mistake, but we are here to support from the educational aspect. So, and then a girl comes back to school, accept her. And then, of course, I'm not for allowing a pregnant girl to stay in school where you're trying to teach other girls not to get pregnant and all of that. That is one of the things that happen. We don't allow them to stay in school because they would influence other children. There's no problem. When after childbirth and what happens, help them to get back. Help them to get back into the flow because they need education. If they're going to be better mothers for their children, they need education. And then if they can't have that formal education, what about the informal one? What about helping them learn a skill? What about helping them get a job? What about if you are a mother and you are available to look after the child while they go to work? Why won't you do that for them? My dear girl, listening to me right now, think about this. Now, this is not only for teenagers, so because even for young adults there, that boy that is shaking your head anyhow, telling you he loves you anyhow. When you get pregnant, that boy, if he's not ready, he's not ready. If he's not ready to be a man, if he's not ready to take responsibility, he's not ready. In fact, if he was ready, he would have done the right thing. but he's not ready. So what you have to do is be careful when guys come around you, because you may have a good job and you feel like you're ready and your guy is ready until you get pregnant. You know whether he's ready or not, and he may just disappear, and you may find out that it may get to a point you can't be going to work again. You will need help. Okay, fine. What about after childbirth? If there's nobody to help you do your mugo, stay with your child, you may not be able to get back to that job that has been sustaining you. And now it becomes a struggle to live, to eat, to pay your house rent, to do stuff. You find out that you may have to go back to your parents or go and look for a friend to live with, something that you have not done in a long while. Now you're going back, and not even in an honorable way. In the early days, yes, it's not as if there were not cases of a teenager getting pregnant, but the paradigm is that they are marrying you off to one man who has been waiting for somebody who will come and take care of him. Maybe a man who has lost his wife, or a man who didn't marry on time and now he's elderly. They marry you off. The family will not bear that stigma. The family will not take care of the extra mouth. And then again, you come to the part of ekebeze anim. Let's say no, okay, who will he belong to? Those kind of things. And so those, we don't even want to go to that aspect where the society will have to determine but it told you will do once they just again all those other things that are connected to early childbirth, where that you are not told. Tomorrow a man wants to marry you and the man says, "No, I love you, but I cannot marry you and your child." You see, it becomes an issue. And so you are torn between taking that child with you or leaving the man. And then these days, society will say, that man doesn't love me. If that man loved me, he would have loved me and my child. Or do you rather easy? Alright? Or do you rather easy? And he has also considered, if I marry this girl's son, how would that happen? Will he become my first son? How will my family accept that? Tomorrow, what if I have my own son? These are things people consider. Before the society will start shouting, if he loves you, he would have taken you and all that. And then the mother herself, of course, she wants security. She wants stability in her life. And she looks at it, and now somebody says, let me help you, but I'm not taking your child. And so the woman looks at it, or the young girl looks at it and says, of course, we say she's selfish, right? But she has also considered, how am I going to live? So it's not the same for everybody. That level of thinking and understanding and making a decision is not the same for everybody. People have the reasons for making whatever decisions they want to make. So it's not everyone who will be lucky to have a man marry them and marry their child, especially when you had a child as a teenager. And then parents as well, let's do better. All right, we have not brought children to the world so that they will take care of us at that early age. Some of us, we have exposed these girls to conditions and situations that made them to become pregnant. Parents have done that, guardians and all that. We've done that, and then when the girls get pregnant, we turn against them. We opened that door, so we need to shut the door. We need to help them. We need to be financially able to take care of our girls. Provide the basics for them. You may not have everything, but provide the basics for them. Now, Basim Boike, even when she gets into a man's house, you find out that he was still doing the job of, teaching her and still nurturing. So let's do better, all right? Society, we also have to do better. What about your own life? Your life may pause for the next 5 years. Your life may pause for the rest of your life. You don't want that. And then for the boy wiki, because he's going to get married, he's going to work. If it's not the boy who truly, truly, truly loves you and the boy who could have said must marry you, he may just go on with his life, right? Lozodia some now forget na hamolunwa, and years later they'll start remembering one girl who did me as in hanaki kifo. But that's the reality. Some they just move away and forget. The ones they deny, they cancel you from their mind and they move on. Okay, so you find out that the burden is on you, the girl child. There's enough burden on the females as it is already. There is enough burden. As you get older, as you become an adult and get older, get married, have children, you understand that the burden is there. So don't bring it on earlier than you should as a teenage mother. Do not bring on the burden of being a female adult, faster than you should. All right? On a stage by stage. Let the stages come to you. And if you're prepared, you'll meet every stage with the energy that you need, the grace that you need to do that. For now, let's focus on getting you educated. Let's focus on getting you scaled up. Scale up your life, scale up your business. Find things that you learn, get better, so that you can be in a condition to make choices. When the right time comes and guys start coming around you, you're old enough, wiser enough, mature enough to know what you want, and also have a skill, so that no matter what happens, you have a skill. All right, enough said. Let's see how we can help you. If not anything, we listen and we do not judge. So if you're a teenage mom, you're a mother of a teenage mom, and you are so confused right now, you don't know what to do, you need to talk about some things, let's talk about it. All right, send me a message on 0703 006 6030 and let's do this together. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon on Life Class. I am Madam Maspakos.